Hey YouTube, okay, so this literally is the fourth time I've tried to film this video, so I'm going to try to make it short because something always happens that interrupts this video. I don't know, all of a sudden my video just stopped recording, so I'm going to try to get through all of this before that happens. So the topic for this video is media. If you haven't seen my introduction video, media is a very big part of my project. It's pretty much half of my project, or 1/3 of what my project kind of is. But this is media, not social media. I think that social media is a completely different thing from actual media. I mean, like Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and even Pinterest, completely different from telephones and TV and newspapers. So yeah, I'm going to jump right into the information that I found. And while I'm giving you this information, I'm actually going to be giving my own commentary on it, which I think is the best part of a blog, or a vlog in actuality, because when you're reading a blog, it's something that you're only seeing the words. You're not seeing the emotion behind the person saying it. One part of this information that really does bother me a lot is television, and I'm gonna do that last, or maybe I should do it first so I make sure I get it, but I think I'll just do it last and get through all the other information a lot quicker, because television, I think, is really one of the biggest parts of media that has to do with my project. So I'll just jump right in. One big part of media is radio. And I do listen to the radio, but I don't listen to it on my clock radio iHome thing. I listen to Pandora a lot right now because Pandora is something that you can customize to fit your own personality. And 57% of American radio listeners listen to internet-only radio stations. I think that's huge because internet is something that was mainly used for information. I don't think it was built to have started becoming radios and sources of video like YouTube, how it is now. I think it's great that something that internet evolved into something that could be like that. But I still say listening to actual radio is also very good because the radio personas, they have a lot of things to say that can be really entertaining and also kind of insightful. But yeah, another thing that I think is huge in media is cell phones and telephones. Cell phones have become huge. They're not just something you use to call your mom, hey mom, can you come pick me up? They're not like that anymore. It's more like a computer in your hands. Not just like a laptop, not like a tablet. I mean, I know a tablet came after a cell phone, but it's literally a mini computer in the palm of your hand. I mean, come on. You have to admit that's really what it's come to. Because in 2004, or 2008 actually, 4 out of 5 teens, which was 17 million at the time, had cell phones, or still have them. And that was a 40% increase from 2004. I got my first cell phone in 2007, so this information was pretty, it was a year after that. Having a computer in the palm of your hand, a computer, a cell phone, a watch, a radio, a calendar, all kind of rolled into one in your hand is super resourceful, as well as kind of dangerous, because I think it's to touch on the subject, it's also something that could increase chances of cyberbullying, because it's so easy to access stuff like Facebook and your email, and it's so easy to send stuff out now that it's just happening so much more often, not just the good stuff, but as well as the bad stuff. Even though 80% of teens said their cell phone was a source of security for them, which is completely and entirely true. If I go out without my cell phone, I get really paranoid. Oh my gosh, what if something happens to me, or if my phone dies while I'm out, I'm like, oh my gosh, what if something really bad happens? I'm going to need my phone. It's just something that's kind of like, it's like a security blanket for a teenager. That's how I see it. It's also now something that's your key as a teen. It's your key to your social life. Like, I don't know how hard it would be for me to talk to my friends on a landline that my parents could pick up the phone and start listening. I mean, they don't do that to me because I normally use my cell phone, but I bet it's something that parents did a couple decades ago, or maybe even 20 years ago. Cell phones, as well as like security and keys to social life, are entertainment. 52% of teens with cell phones said their phone was a source of entertainment. Like I said, a computer in your hand. You can get you can get games on your computer. You can get, you can get them on your computer, but you can get them on your phone, and you can get music and all that. And it's just so easy now because it's all in one place. And then another thing that I think is a huge part of media is TV. I mean, Americans, 99% of Americans have a television in their home. And I don't know how many people there are in America, but like, judging by the people that just live in the city I live in, if that's like not even most of America, like, I don't know. I know there's a lot of people in the city I live in. So if 99% of them had a TV in their home, I still think that's a lot. But then if you add America to it, that's huge. But the average of TV usage in a home, a U.S. home, is 6 hours and 47 minutes. That's insane. That's the amount of time I'm in school, or a little less, I think. But that's still a really long time, and I don't think that's good for us. And it's not. But that kind of added up to being 250 billion hours of U.S. citizens with TVs watching per year. And that's a lot of TV. Like, one episode of Pretty Little Liars is like an hour long, and an hour divided by 250 billion. I don't even want to know that number. That's like a lot of TV episodes. But one way this is really bad for us is because kids who watch more TV have smaller vocabularies and lower test scores. That's terrible. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I want the future of the future of America. I want them to be smart. I mean, I'm part of the future of America. I'm not saying I'm smart. I'm not saying I'm not smart. I'm just saying I hope we end up being smart. And I hope we read well, because apparently if you watch more TV as a kid, you don't read as well as a kid who didn't watch as much TV. I mean, TV is also, like, it has television shows, obviously. And characters on TV are portrayed, like, to have perfect bodies. And, like, kids who see that at home think that that's the way beauty is, like, out there. TV is pretty much it's what people want you to see. And I think since beauty is something that's in the eye of the beholder, TV is like the surface. It's barely scratching the surface of what I think beauty really is. Beauty is something that's supposed to be complex. Like, it's not something that you can just see. It's something you know about. Like, when you think someone's beautiful, that means you know who they are. You know part of their personality. You don't know just what you see. Sure, someone can be pretty, but for someone to be beautiful is when, like, you know about them, when you know what's inside of their hearts. And, like, I don't think that thin women and really muscly men are all that beautiful. I mean, if they're supposed to be portrayed as perfect, I think perfect's boring. The more, like, imperfect you are, more interesting you are. At least that's what I think. I mean, photos in magazines, they erase flaws and imperfections. I mean, the cover of this magazine. I mean, I love reading magazines, but I don't think any of these pictures are real. Like, maybe just the pictures. No, not even the pictures of food are real. They're probably touched up. But this girl right here, she's not real. I mean, obviously she's not in black and white, but even her nails aren't real. That's digitally put in. I mean, her face doesn't look that perfect or that flawless. Her eye makeup isn't probably even like that. And I just think it's crazy that we portray perfection as something that's so beautiful when I think it's something that's also destroying self-esteem. I mean, like, even though you know the difference between real and fake, it's still something that kind of stays in the back of your mind. Like, oh, she has this that's wrong with her. He has this that's right with him, but then there's also that one thing about him. It's like, no. If you're not going to accept a person for who they are, it's like, just stay away from them. It's just kind of my philosophy. If you can't accept me, then just get away from me. But also with TV shows, the characters in the TV shows, as well as being portrayed as, like, perfect, I mean, 74% of characters in TV shows are Caucasian, which is another word for them being white. And, like, I'll be completely honest, I want to be an actress when I grow up, and I'm Asian, or I'm Filipino, and having a 26% chance of being a character in a TV show, that's tiny when you think about it. Out of the millions of people who want to be in TV, and having a 24% out of those millions of people, that's